but how far will they be prepared to push as the flags of the UK, Germany, Netherlands, Ireland, Puerto Rico, and France and South Africa still rampant on the grandstands? How are we going to finish the scores? Let's find out in T4 Senior 168. Next time again, I think. Yes, the lights have not gone on my... Have they gone out in front? Yes, they have gone in front. It's just my timing screen that didn't update. My apologies. So through they come onto the start and through the first corner. It is a rapid start from Anwar Burrell-Smith as they work their way through the chicane. He's held his lead and the field tries to tuck through. Surely there's not enough room for them all to squit through. Just about managing to. That was as tight as possible for the leaders to make their way through. But Mats Moy has made the jump here on Chris Venska. Time for the German to roll up his sleeves.
And it's a good start as well from Colin Munnelly. So that Irish coloured necklace, which I suspect his daughters will have made, has served him well, as we see Christoph Venska now making a move past Mats Moy to get back up into second position. Back where he started, as we see, there's one driver, that's the 536 machine that's gone round at turn 10. Perhaps contact with another driver, perhaps just locking up under braking.
It's the Chilean Javier Carrasco that's gone there as Venska fights forward to get into second place. He gets a nudge on the back bumper from Mats Moy, with pressure too coming from Peter Janssen. So it's as they started once again. Mats Moy now trying to finish off this opportunity, but it's looking pretty tight for the competitors as they run through. Now, for some reason, Chris Venska's transponder doesn't appear to be working. Now it's come back in, and so has Peter Janssen's, but they were still hot in second and fourth places. Hopefully that's not going to be a recurring problem, so they should be able to mix it through without too much drama. What a fantastic run in the top five this. Burrell-Smith, Venska, Moy, Janssen and Munnelly, with Oliver Smith now being caught by Jan Zastrau. Watch out for the German. This will be quite the charge forward if they can get a couple of decent podium spots.
Jan Zastrau doing a good job. He qualified down the order. He's named his kart this year Lena, but he says that the engine is called Gary the Snail. So obviously not happy with the performance from that 225cc Tillotson TPP225 RS. He makes his way down through the final sector. He's still going to be chasing down his colleagues in front. He had Oliver Smith in front of him as he crossed the line last time round. Indeed, Oliver Smith no longer going to be in front of him as he makes the move up the inside. Christoph Venska also looking for a move. Very hungry, it has to be said, from both the Germans early on in this race, but ultimately both of them thinking better of it.
And let's not forget, this is T4 Senior 168. This is the class when they don't run to convention. If there's a gap, they go for it. They don't think about the 4 laps to go. They don't think about the fact that there's another opportunity later. They just see the gap and they charge in. So this could be a really tough race battle to win, as Anwar Burrell-Smith is trying to gesture to Venska, work with me. That's not going to be so easy because the Dutchmen behind are not so willing to comply. Moy and Janssen are right there, and so is the Irishman Colin Munnelly, who now makes his bid on the inside of Peter Janssen. Munnelly will get through, and the Irish eyes will be smiling for a little while longer yet, as Colin Munnelly now goes wheel to wheel with Janssen to try and hold this fourth position that he's only just taken. Down to the chicane he will go. Can Colin Munnelly hold it? Yes, he can. Fourth position for the Irishman.
Colin Munnelly with a personal best finish this year. Oh my goodness me, Mats Moy actually going up onto the back of Christoph Venska, who's now lost out hugely. Colin Munnelly all the way up there, trying to go around the outside. Can he pull it off around the outside of Janssen? It's going to be very brave.
Yes!
He's just about done it. Mats Moy trying to take him back. He can't. What a move from Colin Munnelly, the T4 Senior Ireland 168 champion, making his presence known around the outside of turn 1. The bald eagle flies again.
I have no way to describe that other than stupendous from Colin Munnelly into third position now behind Christoph Venska. Now it's going to be tricky to see how the others will try and respond to that. Moy, Janssen, Smith, Zastrau, Granvaux, Holland and Alcock, and there's been contact further back, and it looks like we've had a roll. There's a kart upside down just on the edge of turn number 9, as we've got a kart in jeopardy on the straight as well. This is almost certainly going to go to slow boards now, because we've got a kart upside down on the far end of the course. Burrell-Smith leads for the moment in front of Venska, Munnelly, Moy, Janssen, Smith and Zastrau. Mind you, the driver is out of the kart. That is good news. So there's going to be yellow flags controlled then at that part. The kart is back on its 4 wheels, so it looks worse than it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are okay. And now we go to slowboards just to be on the safe side. So that be 7 laps remaining of this 14-lap race. And the drivers will charge their way forward off the final turn. And we will go racing. The green flag is going to be in the air. They'll work their way through the chicane. When will Anwar Birol-Smith hit the throttle? It's going to be just about now as he will see the green flag. It's waving, and we go one more time around the Valencia circuit under green here at the T4 Nations Cup in Senior 168 final. And Venska is going to have to go proper defensive here on Mats Moy. What a start from Anwar Birol-Smith. That's about as perfect as you can get it.
Well, obviously, he's been discussing the start procedure with Matt Willerman, who was having tremendous starts. Yes, there's another collision, this time at the chicane. We'll bring you news as to who that is. It looks like it's one of the Central American or Caribbean drivers. There's 4 or 5 racers involved there.
It's Baldon and Steer. Baldon and Steer were the first ones to go, and several others got tangled up. Cardona went in, so did Camp Hoyce, so did Javier Carrasco. That is the 536 stopped out on the circuit. That is disaster for Javier Carrasco, the Chilean, who'd already been involved in one incident. Now he's involved in another, and that is game over for him. But out in front, Birol-Smith leads the way from Chris Venska, with Moy and Munnelly giving chase.
Indeed, Kyle Kavanagh involved in that also, unfortunately for the man racing with the Breretons. As we go back, green flag racing, it is once again defensive posture from the German racer of Christoph Venska, with the Dutchman of Mats Moy all over the back of him as they make their way, as the driver pulling into the pits there to retire.
Oh, that's Cantu. That is Oscar Cantu, the Mexican. What a shame. He was looking so strong in this race, right in the depths of the midfield, but made good progress in the early stages. So Oscar Cantu retires, I'm afraid. Oh, and there's contact further round again as 2 more karts come a cropper in the chicane. That is a very messy end for 2 drivers' races there. They managed to recover, I think, but that's a lot of time lost. So again, that's going to be more drivers dropping down the order, as we now have 3 retirements, Cantu, Carrasco and Aponte. But up in front, it's still Birol-Smith, who looks very strong in the lead. And if he stays there, then Team UK can pretty much put one hand on the Nations Cup.
So, serious drama happening further down the field. Many drivers who we haven't seen too much from, as we see Mats Moy trying to make a move up the inside of Christoph Venska before they've even got to the turn.
Look at Munnelly!
There goes Munnelly once again. The opportunist overtakes Mats Moy, and he's now running in 2nd position. Write this in your diaries, Team Ireland. It's the first time that Munnelly has made it this high on the grid. What a move around the outside. And indeed now Torres Mauricio, unfortunately, under investigation. The 555 machine going slowly. It is still Anwar Birol-Smith who leads the way in front of Munnelly, who is now joined by Mats Moy pursuing him in front of Peter Janssen, Ollie Smith, Christoph Venska down to 6th.
Cole Munnelly is fighting hard to hold on to this 2nd place here. He's really wrestling with his steering wheel. A little bit of a nudge from Janssen. That's going to be enough for Moy to take the place round the outside. Cole Munnelly has worked so hard to get into this 2nd place. He is not going to be defeated easily. This is brilliant from Munnelly. He chops across on Mats Moy. Don't you dare. He chops across the fairing to make sure that there's no overtake down to the chicane. But this is going to be so tough for Cole Munnelly to hold on to. He chops across. I think he knows that the victory is not going to be a possibility. He's just holding on for 2nd. Here comes Moy. Munnelly wrestles with him. They drift out wide. They're still side by side, and Munnelly has to receive the drop down into 3rd place as Venska in the middle of a 3-wide encounter. How did Venska split the middle of them?
Oh my goodness me, physics is being defied. It is merely good advice, the laws of physics. It turns out in this Senior 168 category, I have never seen a driver come so close to being spun round at the first corner. Munnelly was within a few inches of his life there as far as his result is concerned. Mats Moy only centimetres away from his back bumper through a crucial part of the course where you're pulling potentially 3 Gs entering that corner at more than 100 kilometers an hour. That could have been very nasty, but such skill from both of those drivers, such ability and respect to maintain order.
We may have dodged the rain, but we certainly haven't dodged the drama. And with 3 laps to go, Anwar Birol-Smith has pretty much signed, sealed and delivered this Senior 168 final victory for Great Britain. But it's Mats Moy who's got pressure from Cole Munnelly, the Irishman in third, ahead of Venska, Janssen and Zastrow. How has Jan Zastrow split his way through this field to get all the way up to P6 as Chris Alcock has a very big scare there in the chicane with Moment Benamor and Ollie Cooper-Welton. Fair play to the Tunisian. Moment Benamor is all the way up in 11th. He started P26.
A fantastic effort by the man who was falling down the order in qualifying after, in the heats after qualifying in second position, as we see Colin Munnelly still defending fiercely his now third position from Peter Janssen and Christoph Venska, who's climbing back up the order now with his rear gunner from last year, Jan Zastrow,
here we
in
go.
hot pursuit as we make our way down into the final chicane. There's a move there by Christoph Venska.
Venska's gone!
Oh no, over the back of Munnelly. There's reasonably few tears given the magnitude that incident could have had. That is going to be a bumper penalty almost certainly for Christoph Venska. Any hope of retaining his title has suddenly evaporated.
Venska's time at the top of Senior 168 is finally over after 2 years on top, and there's more drama as more cuts bouncing across the chicane there. Very tricky stuff as we see the 540 and the 502 go to scrapping battles. That is a very close quarters run further back in the pack. Well, it's getting pretty messy out there as the drivers try and pick off the last little scraps of this race. But for Birol-Smith, this is the chance he's been waiting for from Mats Moy, who is now a second clear of Cole Munnelly, who's held on for the moment from Peter Janssen and Jan Zastrow. There is the Englishman, who is also, of course, part Algerian. So this will be as much an African victory as it will be a British one. It will be very special for Anwar Birol-Smith. Here comes Moy though, and across the line to start the final lap of the weekend for Anwar Birol-Smith, through all the bad luck, through all the nightmares of his karting career these last 5 years. It's finally his time in the sunshine.
And despite the best efforts of Mats Moy, who has now broken away from Colin Munnelly, who himself is coming under pressure from behind from Peter Janssen, a man on a mission, a man driving very aggressively, trying to catch up to the back of the Irishman. Mats Moy, the hope of the Netherlands in T4 Senior 168, will not be able to catch the Briton, who has come here twice previously, but not once seen the checkered flag in the final. It is redemption for the man who has so much experience in four-stroke racing, so much experience at an international level, and who has suffered so much disappointment here in the past.
A Club 100 winner on 2 continents. If you want to conquer Valencia in Senior 168, you need an Algerian, you need some ABS, you need Anwar Birol-Smith. He takes the win for Great Britain. It's the victory of his career. It's a big, big win for Anwar Birol-Smith and Team United Kingdom. How many years has Anwar Birol-Smith been waiting for a magic moment like this? It finally comes, and it wasn't lucky, it wasn't chance, it was pure guts and determination from ABS. Algeria and Great Britain in unison can celebrate Anwar Birol-Smith, your 2025 T4 Senior 168 champion, and rightly so.
What a